So hello and welcome to episode 19 of Nightmare Down Under, where we play the game Gear City on Nightmare difficulty Down Under in Australia. We started in 1900, now we are in 1945. So we spent the last years in Second World War making ammunition and for some nice healthy income from the state. We had 1 year of a loss before that, but that was due a settlement with the Australian Environmental Protection Agency due to pollution issues around our factory in Sydney or something. So from the newspaper, we got the idea that the World War II will be almost over and that there will be a post-war recession. So what we can now start thinking of is to engineer/re-engineer things. So we're currently not getting any extra design skills due to that. So our oldest platform is the short wheelbase, the one with our very successful microcar, which still is the best selling microcar in the world by far. So there we had a sleeper hit. The next oldest is the long wheelbase, and that's getting out of fashion from 1947 or 48 onwards. Whereas the medium wheelbase stuff, so the sedan and the Grand Coupe, are going to be reasonably fine. So then let's re-engineer the small wheelbase, because if there is a recession coming up, then we want to have small cars ready for sale. So let's modify the short wheelbase chassis, because it was okay. We can use unibody. I think we had gone through that before, but this is just a more or less a quick fix. So what we'll do, since we had used the sliding pillar in the medium wheelbase chassis, so we can use it here as well. We're gaining comfort and performance, and lose a little bit of strength. So again, let's focus on microcar. So what do they want? Fuel economy, handling, and dependability. So performance is actually quite interesting to get. It's not the cheapest thing to do, but it's not terribly expensive either. What I want though is that the engine fits that we had before. So this is still a good setting. Let's keep I'll make it a bit of a longer wheelbase so that it's the evolution. And we still need to have this additional engine length, but that's fine. So we have comfort and performance and some dependability. So we keep it at 3.5 stars. So I don't think we need to change anything here really. So let's give it a little bit more performance so that we have 3 stars there as well for some extra cost. And yeah, let's do it in 7 months so that there is a little bit of urgency in the matter. And we have plenty of cash reserves on hand now, so that's good. Okay, manufacturing techniques stay where they are. Can we add some more? This adds dependability. This also adds dependability. So 120 shall be then the upper limit. Okay. So that's then the 1.9 meter wheelbase platform with a second parameter frame, finished in 7 months. Let's re-engineer the engine too, because it was rather okay. Can we actually stop production of this old engine? I think no. I think we still have. Do we have something? The old sedan. Yeah, the old Phaeton and the old Grand Coupe, which I suspect that we can end production of the old a Grand Coupe anyway, but let's just have sales officially resume. Okay, so let's redesign the old microcar engine. So let's put it in here and estimate it for the new platform, and we're gonna reuse the existing gearbox, at least here for the test. Let's look how expensive it would be to design a new gearbox. So this was a 2-cylinder 500cc flathead. So if we don't change anything, we get 11.7 in terms of fuel economy. It's pretty expensive though, so what I'm going to be doing is reduce sliders a little bit so that we keep things cheaper. So 11.8, okay, that's fine. If I increase torque, 12.1, yeah, so we are below the curve. I wonder what happens if we try to get ahead of the curve now that we have much more power. So the old engine had 8 horsepower and the new one has 11. So let's try, so 11.8 is the target, so let's try double the displacement. Because then we're always fighting against this penalty. 12.5, that's actually not that bad. And raising the displacement doesn't add too much in terms of cost. So we can 15 horsepower, 16 horsepower, something like that. If we go for maximum torque and minimum fuel economy, is this enough to get ahead of the curve? 11.9, it's the same. And I think it's a bit cheaper. And we got 20 horsepower, that's actually pretty good. So this 150. So if we reduce fuel economy to the minimum, 12.3. Okay, so that makes a difference. It's not that expensive. 58 torque. So I can reduce power a little bit, maybe 19 for 140, 18 for 136. 11.9, so that's the same, just with much more power. So this extra torque helps. If I reduce torque, I'm getting to 12.7, so we are sort of ahead of the curve. What we can do, what difference does pushrod make? Way a lot of power for not much more cost. So if we are happy with even 25 or 20, here we can reduce cost now. It doesn't affect torque, interestingly. So valve train only affects power. It affects revs. 11.6, 11.7. So that worked. So we go with the pushrod engine, since we also had our first pushrod engine before the war. So that's then a useful innovation to have. So we can even add a little bit more reliability, although doesn't really matter. I think I'd rather keep things cheap. So 133 for the engine, the new chassis is 120. Yeah, that's, I think, it's a sensible thing to do. And here you also get more project duration. So 7 months. And this flips to 8. So let's keep it then here. So 23 horsepower. 24. So here we get a little bit more torque from this performance point of view. Yeah, so 58 torque, and I think that makes a difference. So 11.6, that's great. If I add more fuel economy, it makes it more expensive and same fuel consumption. If I'm getting less fuel economy, 12.1. So this is a nice sweet spot. So we keep 58 torque and 24 horsepower. So 11.7. Here also 11.6. So that seems to be a nice sweet spot. 137. Yeah, this probably adds just a lot of, well, not a lot of, but a somewhat extra cost. So let's keep it, yeah, somewhere here. 8 months, 7 months. So it's a 1 liter 2-cylinder with 24 horsepower, 58 newton meters of torque. And the estimation is then around 11.6 on the low aero drag. I don't think we'll use any microcar with a 0.75 aero drag. That's something like 15 years ago. So this probably makes more sense. This is realistic. Okay, so that's our engine. So it's our 988cc. 7 months. And gearbox. I sort of wished we would have used... Can I cancel the non-synchronous gearbox? Probably can. No, it's... Oh, it's still in the old Micro that has a non-synchronous gearbox. Oh boy. From 1924. So the newest one is the best. The other one is sort of terrible. And we could actually improve it to a little bit of an extent. So that is somewhat cheap. Although I think a 3-speed manual with overdrive is something useful to design. It's pretty expensive though. So it's probably not for the microcar, but it's for the regular cars. If we reduce sliders, this doesn't do that much. How much would it affect our microcar with this chassis, with this engine? It's almost, so our 2-cylinder has almost as much power as the pre-war engine. That's impressive. How would this pre-war engine look in the microcar, by the way? 9.5 because we are above the threshold. Yeah, this is weird. Again, this is something I don't believe, and therefore I ignore it. 11.5 with an overdrive. Yeah, here in the estimation, the overdrive doesn't seem to make a difference. The other thing, it costs reliability. So we have to compensate for that. Can we get some more reliability? No, it costs? Yeah, it costs reliability somewhat. So maybe since the... So component quality gives reliability, technology doesn't. Performance is not that important, so material quality. No, I think we're not realistically going to get 3.5 stars reliability, so then let's stay with some more middling values and everything. Since I think we're still going to play the game of the price leader. That had worked reasonably well. Wow, and even this is 8 months. And this is still 8 months, so that doesn't change much. It just makes it somewhat more expensive. So this seems to be 152, 142. So this development pays 7 months. Okay, that was just at the place where it flips. Difficult to tune for top speed, since I think I'm going to use the standard sedan, because that's where this is going to end up probably anyway. So the pre-war platform, pre-war engine. So with modern bodies, a 90 to 93. Longer. Still 93 and the rest is lower. 88, 18. So I think this was actually pretty good here. Yeah, 91, 93, 94. Does low-end gearing change anything in terms of fuel economy? So this is 13.5. Ah, so this now changes things since we now have torque. So that's maybe something to consider. That we does the so 86 to 94. That we now start optimizing a little bit for fuel economy, although we are getting trouble in terms of top speed. But that's probably not a big deal. So maybe somewhere here is a 13.4. $85, 14.7, 95, 11.8, 85, everything. So something like this. So maybe our sort of ancient need to gear for low-end torque wasn't that useful. How would this affect things for the microcar? Just being curious. I think we will reuse the old gearbox anyway to save money. Or maybe not. If this is substantial. Ah, here we're getting 9.5 fuel consumption, so that was part of the problem. Okay, learned something. So we're actually going to use this. So if I don't have an overdrive, 11.5. 10.0, 9.5. So then this is actually going to be the gearbox I'm going to be using. Overdrive isn't that expensive actually. 9.6. So I guess we're learning something. 9.5. So overdrive doesn't affect things too much. 9.5 without. And 9.5 with. So I'm just having a 3-speed with this kind of fuel economy. 9.5. Does it increase further? 8.6. It does. Maximum fuel economy. 7.4. And top speed is fine. If I increase the performance focus on fuel economy, does this change things? Nope. Okay, so without overdrive we're also getting great dependability. Maybe it's actually worth investing a lot into the gearbox for our microcar. 91 top speed. 90. 91. 89. 92. Okay. So then, this is actually going to be the gearbox for the microcar. So 7 months, can do it in 7 months. Extra reliability. If I don't care about reliability, how cheap can I make it? 131. So a lot of reliability for $20, I think, is worth something. And here, so I now have reached a certain threshold of torque that my engines produce that I can actually work with these gearings, and that they actually affect fuel economy. So that's, I think, an important lesson learned. Here, that doesn't do much. So reliability 50, 50, 155. If I go higher here and lower here, 154. So the last ones are always more expensive. So 154, 7 months, 7 months. I'm simply using the maximum torque input and have some smoothness. Shifting ease actually costs reliability, okay. So I think then this is another sweet spot here. So fuel economy, just double checking. 7.3. 7.4, yeah, that doesn't do anything. Okay, so then this is going to be our performance. 153. This is then going to be our new gearbox for the microcar. So it's 3-speed, manual, reverse gear, no overdrive, and it may well be the 4th. So that's in the works. Let's see how the war ends and when for us down here. So still nothing happens. Nothing happens here either. Indonesians declare independence. Munition factory in Glasgow destroyed. We had some sales. So in 9:45, factory operations restored. Japan surrenders. So then let's see what's sold and what our competitors are doing, and rework the branches. So for the dealerships who are still with us, still 14 in Perth. That's, I think, pretty neat. So sales efficiency rating. Perth is still, it's not that small. So we go with sales efficiency rating of 4 stars. Perth has nicely grown compared to Adelaide. So 4 stars here. And dealer growth rate 3. Melbourne is now huge, as is Sydney. Sydney is larger, a little bit. Only 14 dealerships in Sydney, so I think what we need to do here is put this on maximum. Brisbane is also reasonably large. And put... So, okay. How's Auckland doing? Not that large. And I have retained some nice number of dealerships. So branches are back up. Need to recondition the factories. Just start with Sydney. Let's see how much I actually need. The Melbourne is useful to have because it's more efficient. So I'm going with both. I have the cost anyway. So what's our competition doing at the moment? So Apson still exists. They sell a sedan. Hope C has sedan, coupe utility, subcompact. So they have a subcompact from 1938. Burnt All has a station wagon. And Jameson Farewell has a full, not full program, but a reasonably full program. Okay, sales figures. So Phaeton still sells, but I don't think we're going to reactivate that one. So we simply work off what we have. So the old microcar, not the biggest sales, but I think it's now positively ancient. So we can sell 150. We're going to also revisit the cost, but at the moment simply working off what happens here. So that's 650 32 sedan. $500 touring. 500 Grand Coupe. Yeah, Phaeton isn't worth doing. 400 Utes. I'm going to move some stuff to Sydney, but let's first put stuff into production. Um, 600 pickup trucks. Compact car is nice, surprisingly, but it's reasonably new though. Although the components are not. 450 compact. So what we of course should do is put the new Grand Coupe in the market. Yeah, the 1941. So 1935 Grand Coupe has sold out. So I can stop that. So that means, yeah, the old non-sync gearbox. So gearboxes, everything is still being used except the 3-speed with overdrive. No, the 3-speed without overdrive that was designed before the war, which I'm not going to use since it has the wrong configuration in terms of lower end gearing. So the Phaeton still has the 13955 engine and the old 1920 chassis. So I wasn't done yet. So I was thinking, so the 8 compact was in production. I'm going to put the sedans into Melbourne because they can benefit from some efficiency in terms of pricing for competition. So that's 528 sedans, or a bit less, and 350 LX sedans. And also then the Grand Coupe for familiarity. So that's then, I can take this here, 511. Hmm, 431. We'll probably sell more. And here goes the advantage. 2 production lines available. I'll keep the micro here, maybe the compact. 456. Yeah, the micro stays here. And here we have the big wheelbase stuff, so we have plenty of production capacity, but of course we now have pretty ancient stuff. I can give things a makeover. So our big team is working on the new platform, and the small team can give stuff a makeover, and that's probably going to be long wheelbase cars, right? So yeah, it's our oldest platform. And the pre-war stuff should be fine, the 1939, 1940. That's not that urgent. Whereas here, everything on this platform still needs to live a little bit, because we first want to get probably 2 short wheelbase cars out, and then we'll tackle the long wheelbase stuff. So what's actually in demand? Sedan, 2+2, the Cube Utility, nice, that's great. So maybe that's the first one to give an overhaul. Sports, standard coupe, full size, Touring is probably on its way out. And pickup truck not that popular. And then down here, compact car, reasonably high. Compact SUV could be something, I don't know. Subcompact, I have no idea. And microcar, with what we're going to be working on, based on a hunch. So then let's give the Ute, the coupe utility, just a quick makeover. So the oldest car that we have is actually the microcar. So probably not worth giving this any makeover. It's using the 1932 gearbox. So okay, they get the 1938 gearbox. I think something new. Same car body. This is just a quick fix. 480 material cost. That's nice and low. Same as here, so no change. Can we improve some things? Can we do it in 4? Yes, that's no problem. So some more cargo focus, 31, yeah. Otherwise, pretty terrible in terms of stats, but that's to be expected, since it is very old. So it's the 30 still is this a 34? Yes, 34 horsepower. So not 5 months, 4 months. Money is no objection. So everything in 4 months, that's interesting. How's our pension fund doing after the war? Nicely filled, so that's fine. Yeah, we had looked at the news. So then let's see how stuff actually sells and what our competitors are going to be doing. Lots of cash flow, but that's 2.6 million construction. Okay. Wow, tons of missed sales. That's awesome. And we didn't put the new Grand Coupe into production. No, we didn't put it on the market. Anyway. So yeah, Phaeton. As long as people want it, I can produce it, I guess. So microcar, 300. So then if it's 300, then I can produce it in Melbourne, because it's the same platform as the compact. 1000 full-size sedan. Still 800, still 900 touring. So Phaeton, that's 300. It's a production line. As long as it sells, I'm selling. Or I'm producing. Ute, 750. Pickup 1000. Compact sells very well. That's 900. Yeah, and I guess that's the end of the idea to produce. I can make 2 here. So micro goes. Although probably Grand Coupe and Sedan, let's start with them. Although I actually want to have the compact and the micro here nevertheless. So the compact is 900. Or yeah, this. Can I fit both sedans in here? Probably not. Doesn't even work. Since Melbourne's a bit too small, so then it's just the micro. So micro was 300. Have to adjust the prices too. Can I do one thing? Maybe the... I have to see how much Grand Coupés they want. Probably not 1,300? Probably not. So the sedan needs to go into Sydney. So the base sedan is 900. $28,900. And the LX 800. So that's much better. Have a look at the competition. Oh yeah, let's price the Grand Coupe. That looks good enough. So sedan. Yeah, lots of stuff is terrible except for the Apes and Kings sale. Well, that's actually pretty expensive and sells pretty well. So compact needs to have some higher prices to be above unit cost, although this will probably change pretty substantially once we have the new production figures up. So I'm simply going to advance and then see what's what. Cash flow 2.3 million once we are in production. Couple missed sales even. And hardly any reserves. So the micro 350. What I should probably do is rework the factories for the probably big increase in efficiency that I'm getting, and it's even worth now waiting for Sydney for ages. What's our unit costs? Yeah. Although I'm not really utilizing things, but even in Melbourne that's 200. So that's something to tackle, that we simply have now old factories. So 350 micro, 1,300 full-size sedan. $1,000 touring. Touring is not dead yet. Phaeton is fine. 850 utes. Pickup is good. Compact is good. Sedans are good. And Grand Coupés is insane. 1,600. So the 340 micros go somewhere else. Yeah, so Grand Coupe is way above unit costs. Sedans are 2. Pickup very well over. Compact is over. Ute is over. Touring is over. Phaeton is over. Sedan is over. And Micro 2. Okay, prices are fine. Yeah, factory. Simply after a fair amount of time. So new contract requests, nothing for us. We still have couple of best cars, but that's probably due to the reduced offerings by our competitors. So we're slowly building up reserves. Sedan, we're making too many. Probably might have left some lines in... No. That was probably then the slip. I don't think I wanted to produce 1,300 sedans, so 850. Yeah, that's 650 till we get rid of the reserves. 700 Sedan LX. Grand Coupe more expensive. Everyone wants that. And 1200 volts. No, the big that was probably the mix-up. Yeah, there is no competition at the moment, but this will probably change. And until then, I'm selling everything I can. So let's rework Sydney. We have the money. So production lines, keep the lines, but with more technology, so that we get, yeah, something like this. 3.5 stars. And this takes 3 years. 3 years actually not bad. So, redesign. So unit costs are far from great. So next month we're getting our new ute. We can sunset the current one. So 650 utes. And we can start constructing our microcar. Yep, ute is gone. Great. Lots of research complete. And let's put it on the market. So it's much better and cheaper than the Hoopsie Peru. That's reasonably recent though. So we can probably sell a lot more. $1,040, why not? And production. Of the old one. So let's design first and foremost, and let's make it a new generation, because what I would assume is that our existing microcar has an excellent image, since it was the world's best one for a fair amount of time, and this image will carry over. So is the Australis Micro. New platform though. New engine. And let's see the difference between the gearbox in the flesh. So this has no warnings and we're getting 8.4 fuel economy. Let's pick a new body. These look tiny, so this is more the subcompact probably. So 4 to choose from. 443 cargo. So the mini bin is bigger. 431. 437. 443, so this one is it. We're getting 7.4 fuel economy. Let's try the same with the other gearbox. That was probably simply configured wrong. So at some point we should have made the switch from the low gear maximum torque to fuel economy. And that was probably the cause for these odd thresholds that we were facing. So that's the wrong gearbox. Yes, here we're getting the warning, so that's wrong, and that's much worse fuel economy. Okay, so lesson learned. Okay. Again, let's modify for the final time the Micro 8. New platform, new engine, new gearbox, new body. 702, it's pretty expensive. Sliders are pretty high though. So the rating is great suddenly. I guess we can design microcars. So they don't, and with these high ratings we can probably skimp on a few things. Okay, market demographic actually makes things better now for a change. I suspect with these high ratings it doesn't really matter to have these sliders somewhere useful, maybe some reliability. Okay, so that we get specific. 3.5 stars is nice, and dependability is nice. Does fuel economy testing do anything? Just being curious. This is 7.2. This is 7.4. What's the current world record of fuel economy? I wonder. Let's just save the sliders. Micro 1946. Seven liters. Nah, we can't quite hit that. Pity though. So, new body, load the sliders, the Micro 46. 7.4. $7.2. Nah. It's close, but doesn't bring anything and just costs more. This is expensive enough, to be frank. So dependability does something. So let's give it 55. Okay, let's give it 55. And maybe lower middle class or lower middle class. So duration 12 months, 11 months, 11 months for 1 million, 12 months for 88,000, 10 months for 1.5, so 11 is the sweet spot. Middle or lower middle? I think it's just a bit of a boost to sales. I'm going with... How expensive was the old one? I think I'm going with lower middle, just because. So material quality doesn't do anything. So the rating is great. I think this is because handling, fuel economy, and dependability. Let's build it. So it's not the 8. And what I want to do now is after the war switch over to actual names of cars. So similar to what happened in real life. So before World War II, many cars, at least in the UK for instance, had names after the horsepower rating, or either the tax rating or the actual rating. I think there was a similar practice in Germany, I believe, whereas after the war this was very rare and was more like names. And so let's say they gave this thing the nickname of Dingo. It still counts at the same car generation, I believe, and just a new name. Maybe it was similar like that the Beetle was the Type 1 originally, and then it got the nickname Beetle, and then at some point it was actually accepted as this is the new car name, as evident, for instance, by the new Beetle. Oh, a Dingo already exists. Okay, how about a Wombat? You're not making it easy. Okay, what I'm going to do is dingo, dingo. Or the dingo M, so dingo micro. And the M doesn't mean anything. Okay, let's build it. Did the image carry over? 35? Yes, I believe it does. So this is the big team. The small team can give something else a makeover. And that's going to be our full-size sedan. So new generation. Terrible, terrible rating. I think we just chucked the new or the new old gearbox in. Let's see how this actually changes things if we put in the new gearbox in terms of fuel economy. Not that it matters a lot. No design warnings. 10.6 fuel economy. And if it's the old gearbox, then we're getting the warning. 15. So I guess that's how we shot ourselves a little bit in the foot with fuel economy, with these gearbox settings that made sense for the very early times, and we haven't really caught up with that. So even with this gearbox, we're getting the warning. Yes, 16.0. Okay. So then, good to know. So no design warnings, but unusual. No new body, since this is just, again, a quick makeover. To avoid, can we do it in 4? We should do it in 4. Or in 5, and we do the next in 4. No, we actually stagger the arrival of things. And 5 isn't that much more expensive. We have plenty of cash on hand. So can we make things a bit better? Not in terms of dependability. Not at all in terms of dependability. So utility, bit more performance. Doesn't matter either. Safety. Nope. And let's simply reduce things again. Since they don't matter, then we can simply save on money that we invest. So 4 months. And it's still better than before simply because it's a slightly refreshed. So 10.5 liters is a bit ridiculous on the low end here. But I think the flip side of this is top speed of 60. That might be a bit too low actually. So maybe we have to live with the penalty anyway. So we check in the pre-war gearbox. Top speed of, yeah, 82. Okay, yeah. So that other gearbox is just for the microcar. So now that we have the larger engines, this is how this works. So the gearbox actually, and they think the gearbox also need new names in terms of what they're built for. The other ratings were better. I think we had something like 30. So you then go here with 30 that way. Okay, otherwise, yeah, nothing has to change. So 34 can keep the name. No, it was a 32, so this is then the 34. Last time we're going to use these names when we simply continue the pre-war models. One other thing I should check on is, yes, shareholder morale poor. We haven't issued dividends. So let's issue some. So that will make our stakeholders or shareholders happy. Yeah, the new Ute sells extremely well. Very nice. Can make a few adjustments with the rest. Okay, Phaeton is now officially completely dead. So we still sell it off, and that's it. So 300 microcars. 1,032 sedans, which we can sunset. But that's easy. 900 Tourings. 800 Tourings. I suspect the Touring's probably also going to die out. 800 pickups. $750 compacts. Sedan sells quite nicely. 550 LXs. $1,400 Grand Coupes. And 115 Utes. So 3 months till we get our full-size sedan. I think we still need to read what the press thinks about our quick makeover Ute. Whoa, the 28 sedan is taking off. Both are so taking off. That's probably market exit. Ute also. Let's check. Phaeton needs to go on clearance. Ultra clearance. Full-size sedan dropped. So I guess now all the competitors are moving as well. So in full size in 2 actually. So we can cut production to 250. So sedan LX 900. That smells like market exit. Standard sedan 1050. Ute 16. One, two Grand Coupes. Compact is fine. 900 pickups. Okay, so market, full size. Yeah, we got the Apson Athenian. And that's why ours, with a terrible rating, stops selling. Ute, market exit, we're the only one. Monopoly pricing. There's a little bit. And sedan is also a market exit. What are we actually selling to? Yeah, that's a good target group. So lots of companies build new factories. So yeah, sedan. But this will again I think sedan and Ute will change massively once we get competition. So full-size sedan is good. Touring sales have picked up again. 950 Tourings. As long as people buy a Touring, I'm happy to sell. Let's just drop the Phaeton price to rock bottom. Yeah, no one wants that, so only those. So Ute is fine. 1,600 Grand Coupes. Then compact. Compact is good. So 32 was fine. Micro sells off the reserves. 28 sedan. More. Probably a bit too much. LX 850. Compact is good, pickup is good. Yeah. So let's catch up on some reading. The Ute, the first one after the war. It's designed to take on vehicles like the everyone else. And so engine is not overly impressive stats, but still adequate. The 34, so that's then maybe something we can aim for future cars. So that's, I think, that's another reason why this is useful doing now, to give these cars a quick makeover that we can see what's expected. Torque is also fine. I love the handling. It's not comfortable. Features, who needs them? Cargo space is adequate. It's a cheap, poorly made toy, but it's well built. It's not the most economical, but fairly close to average. Safety is enough, but has not been a priority, but it's pretty good. So the next month is full-size sedan. Okay, it's gone. Great. Slowly building some reserves here. Yeah, Phaeton sales are unaffected. Let's simply sell them off as sort of curiosities and then good riddance. So full-size sedan. So they have the Apson Athenian. So what we are selling our sedans for, so can keep it cheap since ours isn't that good. So we win on price. And then we stop selling the old one and put the new one into production. How many? Probably a couple more. 800? Probably too much. But let's see. And an production of 32. So oldest car is the Micro, which is going to be revamped in 7 months. The Phaeton, which is dead. The Touring, which I think, and the Pickup. Touring and Pickup. Where's the Touring heading in terms? Is it dropping like a stone in terms of popularity? 4.1 is still hanging in there. The pickup truck is getting a bit less popular. So that's then the decision for the next episode. What to do with Touring and Pickup. Who to give a quick makeover so that they're still reasonably current for a short while. And then, of course, we're going to launch our micro car and see whether it's going to be a smash hit like the last one in a time of crisis. So all of that and more in the next episode.